What if every longing in your heart is not one-sided? What if, in the hidden language of the universe, what you desire already desires you back? This is not poetry, it is law. Desire is not an accident. It is not wishful thinking. It is the Creator whispering through you. Neville Goddard taught that the very fact you desire something is proof that God has planted it in you, both because you are capable of becoming the one who holds it, and because the journey toward it is your path of transformation. Think of it: the house you dream of, the health you crave, the love you long for. These are not fantasies. They are invitations. The universe is not indifferent. It is alive and responsive. Every desire is a signal, and reality echoes back. What you want is also leaning toward you, because it was placed in you as a magnet from the beginning. In the next minutes, you will see why this law never fails. You will learn how to use sacred windows of time to impress your subconscious, how to anchor your desires in living images, and how to let the energy that already seeks you find its way home. But keep this question open until the very end. If what you desire already desires you, why does it sometimes feel so far away? We will return to it. And when we do, you will not see your desires the same way again. Most people wander in vague wishes. They want happiness, health, success. But nothing begins until you decide. The moment you say, "This is what I want," you release a signal into the field. And here is the mystery. The instant you decide, the desire itself begins moving toward you. Two currents rushing to meet. Once you have decided, you must envision. In your mind's eye, see yourself already healthy, already successful, already content. Not someday, but now. The subconscious does not respond to words alone. It responds to images embodied with feeling. And as you hold the image, the universe, which placed the desire in you, holds it back toward you. Time matters. The best hours are just before the day begins and just before it ends, dawn and the threshold of sleep. These are the sacred windows when the conscious mind loosens and the subconscious opens. If necessary, wake a little earlier. Step into silence. Retreat where you cannot be disturbed. In these liminal moments, what you imagine sinks deep. Pause and ponder. How did the things around you first come into being? How did a house, a book, or even a chair begin? Always as a desire, always as an image, long before the form. God implants the seed, and the seed moves toward expression. Your role is to align with it, to say yes, to give it shape. Every time you sit in stillness with your desire, remember, you are not chasing, you are meeting. What you desire already desires you back. And these sacred windows are where the meeting becomes possible. Look around you. Every object began as a thought. The chair you sit on was once a longing for comfort. And here is the deeper truth. Comfort itself wanted to be expressed, so it reached for human imagination. Desire moves both ways. The human longed for relief, and the idea of the chair longed for embodiment. They found each other. This principle applies everywhere. Your clothing, your tools, your home. Each began as invisible desire, pressing to become visible. This is why Neville said that desire is the voice of God. The desire within you is not random. It is the divine signal that something in creation is ready to come forth through you. Make this personal. Don't keep it as theory. Anchor it in your consciousness as fact. Every time you recognize that thought precedes form, you shift from doubt into authority. You no longer ask, "Can this happen?" Instead you say, "It is happening," because desire itself is evidence. And notice the reciprocity again. As you think of the form you want, the form is already leaning toward you. When you imagine health, health itself is searching for an outlet. When you envision love, Love itself seeks embodiment through you. When you dream of prosperity, provision already longs to take shape. What you desire is moving to meet you, because God placed the current in both directions. Take one ordinary object in front of you, a pen, a cup, a window, and trace it back to the first moment someone desired it. Feel the shock. Everything physical is the echo of sustained thought. Let that conviction settle. Then remember, if this is true for chairs and pens, how much more true is it for the deepest longings in your heart? Now that the principle is clear, let us energize your image through a simple practice. Now that your desire has taken image, you must charge it with energy. One of the simplest but most profound rituals is to surround yourself with light. Stand still. Close your eyes. Inhale deeply. As you do, imagine a great circle of light enclosing you, shimmering, alive. With every breath, rays pour in through your skin, filling your body, converging at your solar plexus, the very center of will and vitality. Hold it there for a moment. Feel the gathering power. Then exhale slowly. Picture the light flowing through every cell, rising and falling, washing down through your legs and out through your feet into the earth. Sprinkle yourself with this radiance in imagination. You are not pretending. You are reminding your body and mind of what is already true, that you live inside a universe of living light. Here, the reciprocity reveals itself again. You breathe in the light, but the light is also breathing you. The field itself longs to animate you, to move through you, to experience the joy of becoming in human form. You are not dragging energy in by force. You are cooperating with what already desires to enter. Think of sunlight streaming into a room. The window does not beg the light to come. It simply opens, and the light rushes in because that is its nature. So too with you. Every time you practice this circle of light, you open the window wider. And the truth is, the light wanted to be let in just as much as you wanted to receive it. Do not overlook the sacredness here. When Neville said, "Imagination is God in action," he pointed to this moment. To imagine light flooding you is to agree with the Creator's longing to live through you. What you desire in the form of strength, clarity, and energy answers you from the other side as the very life force seeking embodiment. Desire must be given form in the mind before it can find form in the world. That is why visualization is not play acting. It is rehearsal for destiny. Close your eyes and step into the house you long for. Walk slowly through its rooms. Touch the walls. Feel the floor under your feet. Notice the placement of the windows and the way light enters. Rearrange the furniture until it feels right. Look into a mirror, and there, do not see your current self. See the version of you who already lives this life, healthy, prosperous, at peace. Let the reflection hold steady until it feels natural. Write down what you saw as soon as you finish. The subconscious will not argue. To it, repetition is reality. Now comes the deeper layer. You are not building something that does not exist. You are entering what already exists in potential. The desire for that home was placed in you because the universe already holds its blueprint. The house longs for you as much as you long for it. Otherwise, the image would never have surfaced. Think of how seeds sprout. The acorn contains the oak, but it also requires soil and sunlight. When you walk through the house in imagination, you are providing soil. When you repeat it until it feels real, you are giving sunlight. And the house, the life itself, leans toward you, pushing upward through the soil because it also desires to become. Never forget. God implants desires as both promise and path. The house in your vision is not about bricks and windows. It is about who you must become to inhabit it. The strength, discipline, and openness required. These are the qualities God is shaping in you. The house seeks embodiment through you not only as its owner, but as the person transformed through the journey. To make these practices reliable, the teaching gave us 7 keys, not methods, but alignments. The teaching lists steps, but let us see them as 7 living keys that unlock the law. Each one is not a rule to follow, but a door to open. And behind every door, you find that what you desire is already reaching for you. Clarity. Desire with precision. The mind cannot magnetize a blur. If you say, "I want happiness," the field cannot answer, because happiness is undefined. But if you picture a morning where you rise rested, breathe freely, and smile at a life you love, that is clarity. When you are clear, your desire knows exactly how to return to you. Persistence. The first vision may feel fragile, like ink on water, but repetition makes it solid. Neville insisted that assumption is not a one-time act. It is persistence until the new state feels natural. Each time you return, you are meeting the desire again, shaking hands with it until both of you recognize each other. Balance. Your conscious mind must not sabotage what your subconscious is building. This means aligning daily thought with nightly vision. If you visualize health but speak sickness all day, you split the current. Balance means your words, moods, and small choices agree with the image. When both levels of mind move together, the desire travels back to you without obstruction. Faith in energy. Remember that the substance you are shaping is infinite, invisible, and responsive. You are not drawing from scarcity. You are shaping raw potential into form. This is why desire is evidence of capacity. God would not plant it in you if the substance to fulfill it did not already exist. Faith means trusting that the invisible is more real than appearances. Ease, tension signals, disbelief. When you try to hold on by force, you announce that you think it might slip away. But relaxation says, "It is already mine." Neville said, "Feeling is the secret, and feeling cannot bloom under strain." Ease allows the desire to breathe you back, because only in rest can you feel it as real. Focus. Distraction is natural, but focus is the act of returning. Hold the image steady, like gazing at a star. Clouds may pass, but the star remains. Focus is not rigidity, it is loyalty. Every time you gently bring your mind back, you prove to the universe that you prefer this image, and the universe, like a faithful mirror, begins preferring it too. Surrender. The most misunderstood key. To surrender is not to quit. It is to stop dictating how. Your task is to set the quality, health, love, abundance. The field's task is to decide the channel. Surrender means you let God's intelligence pick the route. And here is the paradox. The moment you surrender the details, the desire can finally reach you, often through doors you never even knew existed. These are not methods. They are agreements with reality. When Neville said, "Feeling is the secret," he meant this. The image must be felt as fact, not daydream. Desire itself proves that God has planted the seed, but feeling waters it. Without feeling, the seed remains dormant. With feeling, it bursts into form. Think of assumption. When you assume the wish fulfilled, you step into the vibration of already having. You don't force it. You rest in it. The law is simple. Assumption creates reality. Why? Because God, the creative imagination in you, responds not to begging, but to being. When you feel as though it is true, you have already agreed with God's intention. This is why ease is essential. Tension announces doubt. Relaxation announces faith. You don't need to demand, you need to embody. The river does not need you to push it. It needs you to remove the stones. Each key removes a stone, until the water runs freely toward the form you both desire. And here lies the reciprocity again. As you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, reality itself leans toward you. Feeling is not only your secret, it is the way the universe feels through you. The desire placed in you desires to be felt, so that it can become flesh. Stories are the mirrors where truth becomes undeniable. Let us return to a simple one, a man and a woman, and the invisible law that brought them together. The man carried deep affection for a young woman. He longed to marry her, to build a life with her, but his circumstances whispered impossible. His income was modest, his job was unstable. He told himself that love demanded proof, a house, a bank account, guarantees, and because he assumed lack answered him. His desire pulled forward, but his belief pulled back. Then someone explained to him what Neville always taught. Your assumption creates your reality. Love is not measured by the currency of the world. It is measured by the state you occupy within. He was told to stop gazing at his emptiness and instead to envision their shared life. He was asked to walk through the house in his mind, to see the table set for two, to hear the laughter echoing through the rooms. At first, the vision felt fragile, like an echo. But he persisted. Night after night, he stepped into the scene. He did not beg for it, he assumed it. He carried the feeling of already being a husband, of already being chosen. He wore that state like a garment, until it felt natural. And then the law unfolded. Months later, they were married. They stood together, radiant. The woman expressed her gratitude, saying they were happy because they had learned to harness the power of thought. But the truth was even more precise. They had harnessed the power of assumption. By feeling it as true, they gave the desire permission to meet them halfway. Notice the reciprocity. He desired her. She desired him. But love itself desired to be born through them. The home they envisioned desired to exist. The laughter they imagined desired to be heard. The law of God placed the desire in both hearts as promise and as path. And when they stepped into the state of already having, reality could no longer resist. This is the law for every area of life, whether health, success, or love. The moment you assume the wish fulfilled, you align with what is already reaching back. Your desire is not a cruel trick. It is a seed planted by God, proof that the soil and the sun are already waiting. What you desire is moving to meet you. And when you embody the state, the meeting becomes inevitable. Never forget, nature is not an indifferent backdrop. It is a living treasury of light and goodness, both visible on the surface and hidden in unfathomable depths. Every material form around you was once a sustained thought, clothed in substance. And every desire within you is also a thought, but one that has not yet taken on its outer body. Thoughts are not neutral. They are embryonic actions. The bridge began as a yearning for connection. The medicine began as a cry for healing. Fire began as a hunger for mastery. The law is simple. What is sustained inwardly will eventually insist on expression outwardly. And because the divine is the source of all expression, it is the divine who plants the longing in the first place. Neville said, "You would not have a desire unless it already existed within you." In other words, God never mocks his children with empty cravings. Every true desire is both a call and a compass. It is God telling you, you are capable of this. You must grow into it. And in the growing, you will find me. Your desires are not simply about possessions. They are about transformation. This is why even obstacles serve. The very resistance you feel is often the training that shapes you into the person who can hold what you asked for. Desire is the seed, but growth is the soil. And God uses both to evolve you. The things you long for pull you forward, while the challenges around them stretch your roots deeper. Feel the reciprocity again. When you reach for health, health is also longing to reveal itself through you. When you reach for abundance, abundance is already knocking at your door, looking for a vessel. When you reach for love, love itself is restless to be embodied in your story. This is unity with the whole. You are not a beggar in a stingy universe. You are a participant in a dance where both partners move toward each other. And here is the wonder. When you recognize this unity, fear dissolves. You stop asking if the desire will come. Instead, you realize it already desires you, and that the God who placed it in your heart will not deny himself the joy of seeing it fulfilled. We began with a question. If what you desire already desires you, why does it sometimes feel so far away? The answer is alignment. The law has never failed. But when your inner images are filled with doubt, fear, or lack, they interrupt the meeting. Desire moves toward you, but you are facing the other way. The moment you hold the image with clarity, persistence, balance, and feeling, the current straightens. You no longer chase, you no longer beg. You recognize, and recognition is the missing key. Two lovers lost in a crowd do not create their meeting by force. They find each other through recognition. In the same way, when you recognize that your desire is already leaning toward you, the union becomes inevitable. This is reciprocity. You dream of health, and health dreams of you. You imagine love, and love imagines itself through you. You seek abundance, and abundance seeks an outlet in your life. God placed these desires within you not to torment you, but to summon you upward, to make you grow into the person who can hold them. And here is the deeper promise. What you desire is not a fantasy. It is a covenant. The very fact that it stirs in you is evidence that a matching reality has already been prepared. You wouldn't desire it if it weren't capable of finding you. You wouldn't imagine it if it weren't already imagining you back. So when it feels distant, remember, it is not absence, but delay. And delay is only the time it takes for recognition to ripen. Keep holding the image, keep feeling it as fact. Keep resting in the truth that your desires are God's way of reaching for you. Because in this law of reciprocity, the end is already written. What you desire seeks embodiment through you too. Everything you long for is already leaning toward you. The house, the health, the love, the success, they are not distant stars. They are echoes waiting for recognition. They were planted in you by God not as cruel dreams, but as promises. Promises that you can grow into, and paths by which you will evolve. Every material form was once a thought. Every sustained image is a seed, and every desire is evidence that the soil is ready. If you can see it, you can meet it, not because you force it into existence, but because it has always been reaching back for you. So hold your vision, breathe your light, walk through your inner house until it feels like home. Assume the wish fulfilled, feel it as true, and rest in the ease that comes from knowing what you desire answers you from the other side too. If this message resonated, let it not be the last. Subscribe to Infinity Echoes, activate the bell, and join us as we uncover more of the laws that guide unseen reality. Because every step you take toward the truth is also the truth taking a step toward you.